My name is Phil Bove, and I'm the Director of Business Development. I've been with Sunnking for approximately 10 years. Before we bought this shredder, we had some throughput issues as far as not having enough time in the day to shred everything. We went from being overwhelmed with equipment to now trying to figure out where we're going to find more material to shred. On the business development side, it's great for us because now, instead of worrying about cutting off the flow of electronics to us, we now have the opportunity to go and get more, which is, from the business development side, is a great thing, a great problem to have.
With sustainability, the best outcome you want to have is having the highest production and the lowest emissions possible. Since we have obtained the UNTHA RS100, our output has increased immensely with very little increase to our emissions. And you can't ask for anything better than that. So our carbon intensity has actually decreased by a little over than 12%, and that is emissions related to our production. And that has been since we have obtained the UNTHA shredder. So not only did our production increase immensely, but our energy efficiency stayed the same.
My job here is primarily as a strategic consultant. So one of the projects that we worked on over the last few years was the acquisition of our UNTHA shredder. Just by way of comparison, our dual shaft was running roughly 10 ton a day, whereas the UNTHA shredder has the capacity to do triple that amount. Thus far, we're still kind of getting our sea legs, if you will, and our throughput is roughly 50% greater than it had been prior to the installation of the RS100.
Here I'm in charge of all the maintenance, all the machines, well, mainly the shredders, and make sure they actually put in the right materials in there. It changes from time to time, so we got to make sure they're actually running the right stuff. The screen size on the shred is 1.5 inch, and that's how everything comes out, and it'll go to the mill, which is also 1.5. It just gets a run-through pass very fast, and the mill doesn't have to work, which again saves time and money from the other equipment that we have, because we don't have to force the other equipment to work harder just to get the same output.
If you have a client coming in and taking multiple tours, if they're trying to select a vendor and they see this impressive piece of machinery, this shredding line, we actually have numerous government entity clients and defense contractors that will come and witness shred, or they may follow a truck back and watch us shred the material. So that's also a great thing. Not only can we get this done much quicker, but it allows us to take on more contracts.
Our main focus is to be able to supply and support the circular economy as best as we can. So having the UNTHA shredder has provided us with very high quality grade material to completely close the loop and supply refiners with the best possible commodities. I just see this increasing our level of capacity to be able to intake more material, and from a social standpoint, that will allow us to reach even more communities because we have a higher capacity that we can collect and shred and provide. What I would say to another company trying to reach their sustainability goals is to look at an UNTHA shredder. Again, it increases your capacity while keeping your emissions lower and being able to create high-grade material.